Two little girls disappear with a babysitter in Atlanta. One is 4 years old, the other is 11 months old.
And thankfully, before we go any further, both children are safe.
Yes, let's put that right at the top. They were found alive, they were reported to be in good health, and they were reunited with their mother.
Which means we can tell you how strange this became without leaving everybody wondering whether the story ends in tragedy.
It does not. But for their mother, there was a stretch of time when she had no way of knowing that.
And the person police accuse of taking them wasn't a stranger who appeared out of nowhere.
No. According to Atlanta reporting and arrest warrants, the woman accused in the case was someone their mother knew and trusted, 42-year-old Lakeisha Brown.
The babysitter.
The babysitter.
That's already enough to make every parent listening uncomfortable.
It gets more uncomfortable when you hear how the relationship allegedly began. The girl's mother, Elika Redding, has said she first met Brown through social media. Reporting on the warrant says the connection involved a pregnancy Facebook group.
So this wasn't someone who had been part of the family for 20 years.
No. Redding told CBS Atlanta that Brown initially reached out around doing hair for expecting mothers. They eventually started talking and became friends.
Which is how trust usually works. It doesn't arrive wearing a sign that says, "This will become an Amber Alert."
Exactly. And that's important here. We know the ending, so it's easy to look backward and make every earlier decision seem obvious. It wasn't obvious to the mother at the time.
She believed she was leaving her daughters with someone she knew.
On Saturday evening, according to the mother's account, Brown was allowed to care for 4-year-old Zola Cooper and 11-month-old Nora Cooper.
And the Browns were supposed to come back.
They didn't.
When does this become a police matter?
The children were reported missing and the search escalated. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation issued an Amber Alert. Atlanta police began trying to locate Brown and the girls.
Did Brown communicate with the mother?
According to CBS Atlanta, Brown allegedly told Redding that she and the children had been involved in a crash with a semi-truck.
A crash with a semi?
That's what the mother says she was told.
Was there a crash?
Police said they found no evidence that the accident happened.
So now you're a mother with 2 missing children. The babysitter isn't bringing them home, and you're being told about a serious traffic accident that police can't verify.
Yes.
That is terrifying.
Redding later said she felt Brown had been presenting a false version of herself during their friendship.
And again, we're going to be careful with the children here. They're not props in a bizarre crime story.
Absolutely. The humor in this episode, where there is any, belongs around the increasingly extraordinary investigative circumstances, not around 2 very young children being missing.
So police have an Amber Alert. They have Brown's identity. They know she has the girls. What's the breakthrough?
Cell phone data becomes important. Warrants described in Atlanta reporting say investigators used farm information while trying to locate Brown.
And that leads them where?
To an apartment complex on Sylvan Road in Atlanta.
An apartment?
Not exactly.
Rose, whenever you say not exactly, I know I'm about to regret asking.
This time you may.
Where are they?
Police locate a trailer.
What kind of trailer?
Reporting on the warrant describes it as a tow trailer, and according to the warrant, it was hot inside.
And with an infant and a 4-year-old?
Yes.
Is that where police think Brown is hiding?
It is.
How do they know the children are inside?
They hear a baby crying.
Oh.
And that's where the body camera footage released by Atlanta police takes us.
From an Amber Alert to officers standing outside a locked trailer, hearing a baby inside.
Exactly.
All right, open the trailer.
That's part 2.
Police are at the trailer. They believe Lakeisha Brown and the 2 missing girls are inside. They can hear a child.
Body camera video released by Atlanta police shows officers working to get in. The trailer is locked, and officers use bolt cutters.
This is one of those moments where Bodycam turns an abstract police report into something very immediate.
It does. You hear the urgency. You hear the children crying. Then the officers get the trailer open and see Brown and the girls.
Who comes out first?
The children. Officers remove the 11-month-old and the 4-year-old before bringing Brown out.
Good.
Very good. Authorities said both girls were in good health and were reunited with their mother.
That's the ending you want from every Amber Alert.
It is, and it's worth stopping there for a moment because the rest of the case gets strange enough that the rescue can almost become just another plot point.
But for the family, that's the plot point.
Exactly. 2 children who were missing are back with their mother.
What happens to Brown?
She is arrested. CBS Atlanta reports that she faces 2 counts of kidnapping, 2 counts of first-degree cruelty to children, and additional charges.
And those are charges and allegations. Brown has not been convicted in this Atlanta case.
Correct. We are describing what police, warrants, and prosecutors allege.
What do the warrants say about the trailer itself?
11 Alive reports that warrants allege Brown was hiding with the girls in a hot tow trailer. The cruelty to children allegations are connected to the conditions and circumstances authorities say the children were placed in.
Do we know how long they were physically inside that trailer?
Not from the sources we're relying on, so we're not going to manufacture a timeline.
Good.
We know police found them there Monday afternoon. We know officers had been searching. We know cell phone data was part of the effort. We know officers heard the infant and forced entry.
And we know the girls were medically okay afterward.
Yes.
The thing that keeps bothering me is the alleged fake crash story.
The semi-truck claim.
Right. If police say there was no evidence of that accident, then from the mother's perspective, that message would only make everything more alarming.
Especially because a collision involving a semi-truck and 2 small children sounds like an emergency that should leave an enormous trail. Police, ambulance, insurance, a location, something.
Yet, police said they couldn't substantiate it.
Correct.
Do investigators have a motive for why Brown allegedly took the children?
Not one established in the reporting we're using.
So we're not going to invent one.
Definitely not. And this is one of those cases where the absence of a clear motive actually makes the known facts more unsettling.
Because people naturally want the sentence to end with because.
Exactly. She allegedly took the girls because...
And we don't have the rest of that sentence.
Not responsibly.
But police discover something else about Brown.
They do.
Something that makes this stop looking like an isolated accusation.
Atlanta police said Brown had ties to Alabama and an outstanding failure to appear warrant connected to a kidnapping case there from roughly 5 years earlier.
Another kidnapping case?
Another alleged kidnapping involving a baby.
How young?
4 days old.
4 days?
According to reporting cited by CBS Atlanta, Brown was accused in Fairfield, Alabama in August 2021 of kidnapping a 4-day-old boy.
And the baby in that case?
Also found safe.
Thank goodness.
Yes. The allegation was that Brown was a family friend and took the newborn while the baby's mother was asleep.
So Atlanta police arrest a babysitter accused of taking 2 little girls, and then learn she has an unresolved Alabama case accusing her of taking a newborn.
That's the connection authorities are describing.
Was she convicted in Alabama?
No. We need to be precise. It is a separate pending allegation. Atlanta police said there was an outstanding warrant for failing to appear in connection with that case.
Which raises a fairly obvious question.
How was someone with that case still out and able to become trusted as a babysitter?
That's one of them.
And it's where the story moves from a rescue into a much bigger question about the accused woman's history.
Because 1 alleged kidnapping is a case. 2 alleged kidnappings involving babies and children is a pattern investigators are going to stare at very hard.
Alleged pattern.
Alleged pattern.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Recess may be over, but legal precision remains in session.
That is the least catchy slogan we've ever had.
And yet you're going to remember it.
Unfortunately.
The part of this story that fascinates me isn't actually the trailer.
It's the trust.
Exactly.
Because everyone wants to imagine danger as a stranger.
A person at the edge of the playground, someone lurking in a parking lot, a mysterious car.
But according to the mother's account, Brown had worked her way into ordinary life.
Social media contact, hair, conversation, friendship, eventually babysitting.
None of those things sounds dramatic.
That's why they matter. Trust is usually built out of boring things.
Nobody says, I established trust through a sequence of mundane interactions.
No, Otis.
They say, we became friends.
Precisely. And afterward, when something terrible happens, people sometimes ask the victim or the family, how could you trust that person?
Which is easy to ask once you've read the headline.
Very easy. Much harder before there is a headline.
Redding said she didn't see signs that Brown would do something like this.
Right. And I don't want this episode to turn into a lecture telling parents never to trust anybody they met online. Modern friendships begin online every day.
So do business relationships, marriages, jobs.
Podcasts.
Are we warning people about us now?
Constant vigilance.
Fair.
The useful point is narrower. The origin of a relationship doesn't tell you whether the person is safe, and hindsight doesn't make the mother's earlier trust irrational.
Especially when the accused person allegedly had an unresolved criminal case in another state that the mother apparently didn't know about.
That's the extraordinary piece.
Let's talk about that Alabama case carefully.
In 2021, Brown was accused of taking a 4-day-old boy in Fairfield, Alabama. Reporting says she was known to that family as well. The infant was later recovered safely.
And by 2026, that case apparently still hadn't reached a final resolution.
Atlanta police said Brown had an outstanding failure to appear warrant related to it.
So now jurisdictions have to sort out what happens next.
Yes, Georgia has its new charges. Alabama has its existing case and warrant. The legal process will determine what is proven.
And we shouldn't collapse two accusations into a conviction just because the resemblance between them is striking.
Exactly. Similarity is not a verdict.
But investigators are obviously going to care about it.
Of course.
There's another thing that Bodycam does here.
What's that?
It changes the emotional center. If all you read is babysitter arrested after Amber Alert, it sounds like a headline. When you hear officers cut into a trailer and hear a baby crying, suddenly you remember how small 11 months is.
Very small.
A baby doesn't understand an Amber Alert. A 4-year-old doesn't understand jurisdiction or warrants.
They understand whether mum is there.
Right.
Which is why I'm glad the police footage ends with officers physically carrying those children out.
And why our artwork should not be to frighten little girls.
Agreed.
You've started art directing the episode now?
I contain multitudes.
Apparently one of them works in marketing.
Someone has to supervise you.
I thought we established last episode that nobody was in charge.
Fair point.
What would you put on the picture then?
Something symbolic. A locked utility trailer, an Amber Alert glow, maybe a child's small backpack or stuffed animal somewhere safe in the composition, but no child in distress.
Rose Otis looking at the trailer.
Exactly. The story without exploiting the children.
That's actually better.
It usually is.
And headline?
The babysitter who took the kids.
That's direct.
It should be. People shouldn't need a decoder ring to know what the episode is about.
Our Penn State search result taught us that.
Otis, we do not discuss our metadata strategy on air.
Right, mysterious artistic process.
Much better.
So where does the Atlanta case stand now?
Brown remains accused. The children are safe. The investigation continues, and the Alabama history is now part of the larger public picture.
Which leaves us with a rescue, an arrest, and a lot of unanswered questions.
Especially one.
Motive.
Motive.
Let's separate what we know from what we don't.
Good idea.
We know 4-year-old Zola Cooper and 11-month-old Nora Cooper were reported missing after being with babysitter Lakeisha Brown.
We know authorities issued an Amber Alert.
We know investigators tracked the search to an apartment complex on Sylvan Road.
We know officers found Brown and the children inside a trailer.
We know Bodycam shows officers using bolt cutters to enter.
We know they heard children crying.
We know officers removed the infant and the 4-year-old first.
And most importantly, we know both girls were reported in good health and reunited with their mother.
We also know Brown was arrested and faces kidnapping and cruelty to children charges in Georgia.
And Atlanta police said she had an outstanding Alabama warrant tied to a separate 2021 case in which she was accused of kidnapping a 4-day-old baby.
Also found safe.
Also found safe.
What don't we know?
We don't know a proven motive for the Atlanta allegations.
We don't know the final outcome of either criminal case.
We don't know everything that happened between the children leaving with Brown and officers opening that trailer.
And we are not going to fill those gaps with internet speculation.
Correct.
There's something almost old-fashioned about the investigative break, despite all the technology.
Explain.
Yes, cell phone data helps get police to the right place, but then the decisive clue is a sound.
A baby crying.
An officer standing outside a trailer hears a baby.
And suddenly the search becomes a rescue.
That's the moment I'll remember.
Me too.
And imagine the mother's side of that phone call.
The call saying they've been found?
After an Amber Alert. After the alleged crash story, after not knowing where your 4-year-old and your baby are.
There are probably very few sentences in the English language better than, "We found them. They're safe."
No argument from me.
As for Lakeisha Brown, she is entitled to the presumption of innocence. Charges are allegations, and prosecutors will have to prove their case.
And the Alabama accusation needs the same legal caution.
Yes.
But the existence of that earlier case is relevant because Atlanta police themselves publicly connected Brown to it.
Correct.
Which means, if you're writing this as fiction, an editor probably tells you the second alleged kidnapping is too much.
Real life has never respected an editor.
That's becoming the unofficial thesis of this show.
Along with, bad decisions have sequels.
That's dark.
You started it.
Fair.
But this particular story gets something many of ours don't.
A genuinely good ending for the people who mattered most.
The girls are home.
Safe.
And whatever happens next in court, that doesn't change.
Do you think the mother will ever stop replaying how she met Brown?
Probably not. But I hope strangers resist turning that into blame. Trusting someone who later allegedly betrays that trust does not make you responsible for their alleged conduct.
That's worth ending on.
I think so.
Well, almost ending.
What have you done?
Nothing.
That tone means something.
I was merely going to point out that you successfully used the phrase "I contain multitudes" in an episode involving a tow trailer.
And?
I respect the range.
Thank you, Otis.
You're welcome, Rose.
If there is a significant development in the Atlanta case or the related Alabama proceedings, we'll update the story.
I'm Otis.
And I'm Rose.
This is Detention.
Recess is over.
And tonight, thankfully, 2 little girls are home.